Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Creating Killer Courses and Trainings. This is part 3, and in this video training session we're going to cover creating assignments and exercises to engage participants and increase retention. Alright, did you do your homework from part 2? If you did, congratulations, your course is taking shape and you're moving along. You have your topics, your subtopics, and you've made sure that your participants can accomplish the objectives, which is the most important part of your course. Now we're going to take each of your topics and the details that you've decided to include and create assignments or exercises to involve your participants in the learning process. Now I'm going to tell you something that's really important to understand here, and that's that the competition right now that's creating information products on the market, especially for the network marketing industry, and also the best leaders that are in the network marketing MLM industry are not including this important step in their training sessions and products, which is so important to understand. First, they're not educators by trade, so they haven't been trained on the element in course design that is so important, which is this element. And second, they don't understand its value. So they haven't been able to understand why they should learn this part and include this part in their training and information products. So I found this to be true in all the research that I've done, and this is why I've included this portion of my video training series for you, and why I'm really going to get into some really detailed instruction here on how to create the assignments and exercises and what the difference is, because guess what? You're learning the secret here, and this is going to give you a huge advantage over everyone else in the industry, especially if you're a leader in the MLM industry right now. It's going to just give you a huge advantage. If you're not a leader in the industry, it's going to make you a leader in the industry. Also, if you want to create some information products, this is going to give you a great advantage, because there are no information products that I can find anywhere online right now that have this element or another element that I'm going to teach you later. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited. Okay, so before we begin creating assignments or exercises, it's really important to understand the difference between the two when you're developing your course. If you need your participants to complete an action before they move forward to the next training in order to understand what's going on, or in order to complete something and then move forward, you need to have an assignment. If you'd like the participants to complete an action before they move forward so that they really get their hands dirty and understand what's going on, but it's not necessary, that's an exercise. So depending on the way you organize your course, you can use either assignments or exercises to achieve your objectives. You want to also create courses, sometimes with both, to give participants more opportunities to apply what they're learning. I'm going to go into a lot more detail about different types of assignments and exercises in the bonus video about creating trainings for all different learning styles. But in this video, I'm going mostly into details about assignments, because that is what lends itself to the blog example course that we're going with, and we're going to stick with specific ones, but you're going to want to look at that bonus training video for a bunch of different types of assignments and exercises. So let's get into some more detail about how to do assignments for our blogs example. Okay, so let's look at our first blog course example, the topic 1, and let's do some possible assignments for it. The topic 1 was benefits of blogging. And we had all these details to differentiate yourself, become the expert, mini website with content you can control, interact with millions of potential customers, chance to rank #1 on Google and other search engines, and build your list. So I've got 2 possible assignments here for the topic of why blog. The first assignment is pretty detailed, and it's pretty long. And it says, does your competition have a blog? To answer this question, research different leaders in your organization and see if they have a blog. Once you find 5 blogs, take a look at them and rate them on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Do these leaders look like experts? Have they differentiated themselves from their competition? The second assignment is to interview a leader who has a blog and ask them how many referrals they get and if their blog is worth the time they spend on it. So we've got 2 totally different assignments here. You can have both assignments in your course or just one assignment in your course. I like to build 2 different assignments in my course that different people can pick from. Again, you're going to have different learning styles, and that's something I'm going to address in the bonus session. But then they can decide, which of the 2 that they want to do. One is a little bit more in-depth than the other one, but both of them, if you notice, are very specific. You can't give these vague directions for people because they won't know really what to do. You have to make sure that you give them numbers. So for example, I say, once you find 5 blogs, because if you don't tell them how many blogs to look at, they're going to be wasting all kinds of time looking at 25, 35, 10, 6. They won't know how many blogs to look at. So you tell them, look at 5 different blogs. You have to tell them to rate the blogs. Otherwise, they're going to look at these blogs. They're not going to know what they're looking for. They don't know, what they're supposed to do with them. And that's why you have specific questions for them to answer once they see the blogs, and you're going to have them rate them. So that's why it's very specific. You can't just say, go look at these people's blogs and what do you think? It's not going to help them. They're not going to achieve the objective. They're not going to see the benefits of blogging if your assignment is really vague. Okay, so make your assignments very specific. I really do like to give them a choice in different assignments to do. So these are 2 examples that go with that one. Let's check out another one. Okay, here's our topic 2, and that is blog ideas. And we had said how to generate blog ideas was a subtopic, and we said industry happenings, company news, product news, team news, interviews with leaders, showcase yourself, Google Alerts, and specific topics. Then we also said another subtopic would be how to keep track of your blog ideas, which was physical notebook and to have by your bed and computer, and an MS Word document to copy-paste quotes and articles that spark ideas. So possible assignments for the main topic of blog ideas would be to research 5 of your company's leaders who have a blog and write down some topics they're writing about. Set a Google alert for those topics so you can get updated information about those topics. Or 2, what are 4 other companies that sell similar products than you? Set Google alerts for those companies and keep track of their performance for ideas for some articles. Again, what do you see here? You see specifics. Research 5 of your company leaders. What are 4 other companies that sell similar products as you? Numbers, 5 and 4. What am I telling them to do? Specifics. Write down some topics that they're writing about. Set a Google alert for those topics. Set Google alerts for those companies. Track their performance. Set Google alerts for those topics so you can get updated information. So they're action steps. I'm telling them exactly what to do, giving them specifics so that they are achieving the objective for that topic. Now, you notice I'm not setting them astray. I haven't given any details or anything. There's nothing in those assignments that relates to those other topics that I haven't jumped ahead to. So I'm not talking about WordPress here. I'm not talking about WordPress plugins yet. I'm not talking about anything but what you see here with company news, industry happenings, setting Google alerts on specific topics. I'm honing in on those subtopics that are up right above what I'm saying here with these possible assignments. So seeing all this together and having it all in one place really lets me understand what I'm doing, and I can align everything together. Okay? So I also want you to notice here, why am I selecting assignments for this blogging course? Think about it a bit. The way I've designed this course is in a sequence of topics, and I'm going to bring you back a little bit to the beginning, and this is why I have all these graphic organizers for you, because when you're doing this, you have to really visualize what it is that you're doing. But I have this course in the sequence of events where I've got, why blog, blog ideas, WordPress, WordPress plugins, and because this course is created this way, you really have to know what you're doing one, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And I want the participants to go through this course and at the end have some kind of product, right? I really want them to be able to say, okay, I have this blog, or I'm ready. Look, I have all these topics that I can blog about. I have my WordPress ready to go. I have WordPress plugins that are ready to go. I don't want these participants to go away at the end of my course and say, shoot, I have all this work to do. I could have been doing those exercises a long time ago, and I would have had a blog, but I didn't do it. So if I created it with exercises, I might actually have mad customers or mad, people who are upset because they thought things were optional. Instead, I'm making assignments so that they can kind of see, hey, I'm serious about this. You should be doing this, and then you should be doing this, and then you should be doing this. And if you're doing all these things, by the end of this, you're going to have a killer course. Or by the end of this, you're going to have a killer blog. And you're going to have all of this ready to go. You're going to have so many things to write about. You're going to have all the plugins you need to market your blog. You're going to have everything ready to go. So you want to give your team, or you want your information product to be the best on the market. So that's why I'm picking for this one assignments over exercises. So it all depends on what you're doing. If you have that course that it really doesn't matter, you're just talking about, different things that really aren't related in sequence, then yeah, exercises are good. But if you are doing something like this where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I need to do this, then I do this, then I do this, you really should be using assignments like I have here. Let me know if you have any questions about that, because this is something that even seasoned course developers get a little confused with. Like I said before, you don't want to get confused with this, but you do want to use it in your information products because it's going to set you apart from all the rest, okay? Okay, so just to recap a little bit, some tips that you want to keep in mind when you're creating the assignments and exercises is that you want to be specific in those directions. So you noticed how I stated again, research 5 company leaders, keep those numbers, 5, set Google Alerts. Remember again, give those directions, action steps, set Google Alerts, or create this. We always use those verbs, create, set, do, work, write, put, things like that. Those are those action verbs that you want to use. Make it easy for participants to understand and carry out that action. And also always remember, align those assignments and exercises with the objectives and the topic, because the participants will not do those exercises. They will not do those assignments if the action, they don't understand that practical application. If those things don't align, the first people who will get on it and say, what? Are those participants. And I'll tell you that right now, if you've ever been in any class in your life and you've sat there and been like, why am I learning this? Or why do I have to do this assignment? We've all been there. And the reason why we ask why is because the assignment has nothing to do with what we're learning. Think about it. You've been there, and you can think about a course that you've been in. You've learned the assignment, you've learned the lesson, you've sat there, you read the material, and then the assignment has nothing to do with what you just read or what you just did, or you can't find the answers for the assignment in the lesson. That's alignment gone horribly wrong. And that's what you do not want to do in your course. That's when people will never buy a product from you again. That's when your team will lose faith in you as a leader because they're going to feel like you're training them the wrong way. And that's when things just go wrong. And so that's why from the very first lesson, I taught you about alignment. You always have to make sure that alignment's there. So make sure that those exercises and those assignments always align with that topic and objective, okay? And you'll be good to go. All right, homework again. Yep, again, just like I taught you in this video training session, I have assignments in this course because to create a killer course, I had to have you do things step by step by step. So it's time for you to decide if your course should have assignments or exercises, and you can go back and you can look and see if your course kind of lends itself to exercises or assignments by the 2 definitions. Decide and write down some exercises or assignments for each of the topics and make sure that they align with the objectives. You're going to want to download and save the PDF workbook and make sure that you're ready for the next video training session number 4. And in that training session, we will give you all the nuts and bolts ready to create a presentation that will go with your course. And then after that, we'll go into materials. So until next time, we'll see you then.